Hello and welcome to another episode of the Naina Redhu Experience, the first podcast in the times of coronavirus, or technically it's COVID-19, which is caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. But of course, everyone is using the colloquial term coronavirus, which has its ups and downs. Surprisingly, Corona beer has suffered quite a lot. But I'll still drink it. Why won't you drink it? It's beer. So strange that they're not doing well, which is really unfortunate. I was even planning to go to the local L1 liquor store to pick up a case or two, assuming it was discounted. But then, of course, now we are on lockdown. And even though alcohol is supposed to be an essential service, which means alcohol stores are open, at least in Haryana, as far as I know, I could be wrong. Just going out and being pulled over by a cop asking why you are out, and then me having to tell him beer ke liye might not be such a good idea. So I haven't attempted that yet. But anyway, I digress. The reason I'm recording this podcast is because I wanted to talk about creating in the time of coronavirus, or the pressure to create. I have been looking at obviously my social media feeds on Instagram, on Twitter, etc. And I have been seeing some people putting in a lot of effort to create content when they are in self-isolation. There are photographers who are shooting portraits on a daily basis. There are musicians who are doing live streams of either playing their own music or creating new music and live streaming it for their audiences to see. I am looking at illustrators who are doing things like a painting a day, or there are comics who are comic artists are creating a comic strip a day, etc. People who are doing this don't normally do this. Usually they do a comic a week, or a new soundtrack in a month, or a new photograph in a week, or a new photograph when there's an assignment, etc. Now, initially, my reaction was, oh my god, even I should be doing this. It'll be so cool. Let me do this. I also want to do it. I want to create something, blah, 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 etc. What happened was that due to stuff not in my control, it just so happened that the first 7 to 10 days of everything shutting down and slowing down, I really did not have time to be home. Due to a family emergency, I was actually running around quite a bit, and there were formalities to be done, etc. So I did not have the time to actually do anything when I was home. Every time I got back home, my focus was on catching up on sleep, eating, bathing, laundry, etc. So creation was not something that I was thinking of. I did not have any assignments. Now I think I have been home for 3 days actually. Today is the third day of self-isolation, entire complete self-isolation, where I have not stepped out of the house. I do live in a gated society, and in the residential gated society, you can go out for a walk, you can take your pets out for a walk. Again, you need to maintain social distancing, etc. But I have not stepped out of the society because I don't think that would be advisable in any case. But I have now been thinking of wanting to create something when I am in isolation, and I just felt that there was this kind of pressure that because you were alone at home, you suddenly had to create stuff, and on a regular daily basis. And I was like, wait, I want to do things that I like doing, that I enjoy doing. So if you are someone who enjoys creating stuff on a daily basis and you do it anyways, this is like a gold mine for you, being isolated. For someone like me, I anyways work from home 90% of the time. As a photographer, I only travel when I have an assignment where I have to go to a location for a client and I have to shoot something. And then once I have shot it, I come back and I spend time editing it, publishing it on the blog, on my feeds, etc., etc., etc. So most of my work involves sitting my butt down in my chair and working at my desk. So this isolation thing is not anything new for me. We have not had house help for 11 years, so we don't have anyone to send away and say that please don't come home for the next month. don't usually have guests over in any case. We both of us cook on our own, we clean on our own. It's the usual for me. So there is this thing where everyone's like, oh my god, we're home and we can't do house help, and people have kids, people have pets, and there are things that we usually avoid, I guess, when we're not home. And now, because you have no choice except to be at home, you can no longer avoid these things. So there's a lot of pressure on for you to show that you are being productive even though you're in self-isolation. I wanted to say that fuck all that. You should just relax. If you are not used to cooking 3 meals a day, you can cook 1 meal in 2 days and eat it over 2 days. It's really whatever makes your life easy. There is no need to do what some people are doing online. A lot of people have also started posting videos regularly on their IGTVs, on their TikToks. It's just, I would suggest that if you are someone who likes creating stuff, there is a tendency that we'll be like, acha, dekhte hain isne kya banaya, are dekhte hain usne kya banaya. And we want to follow what everyone has been up to, and we end up consuming a lot of content, whether it is on platforms like Netflix or whether it is on platforms like social media like Instagram and Twitter, etc. I would suggest, instead of that, read a book, maybe. Even if you don't draw or paint, just do that. Even if you think it looks like shit, I would suggest that you spend time creating instead of consuming. And just because you're creating doesn't mean you have to publish it online. There is absolutely no rule that says that you have to share whatever you do with the rest of the world. There is a demarcation between what you do as something that you're doing for yourself and your soul, and then there is stuff that, for example, as a photographer, I like sharing my work online because it allows me to then get similar work from a client, because they might see that work and be like, oh, she does that kind of work and we want to work with her. So for me, that is the use of social media. Are you putting it to use? So if you want to create on a daily basis and you want to do 365 days of portraits, 365 days of type, whatever, if that brings you peace, mental peace, and if that helps you keep going, then by all means do it. But if you're someone who gets anxious very easily and finds it like, oh my god, this is like a competition, I don't know how to keep up, please don't. You don't have to keep up with anybody. Your focus should be keeping yourself safe, keeping your family safe. At this point in time, there is uncertainty, mainly because governments are not clearly communicating with their citizens on what the exact rules are. Specifically from India's point of view, the Prime Minister says something else is implemented on ground. Chief ministers of different states say something, center says something. I would suggest, please focus on your safety and your health. Mental safety, physical safety, don't fall ill. Try to boost your immune system by, things like sleeping on time, waking up on time. Again, these are all attempts to keep yourself safe. There are no hard and fast rules. No one can dare tell you how to live your life, how long to sleep. You can work from home wearing, a jacket on top and nothing underneath. Who cares? Nobody can see it. Big deal. So I was getting a lot of stuff online where people were like, so cool, yeah, you created this. So cool, yeah, you did that. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm bored. So when I'm bored, I do stuff. But even for someone like me, I haven't been doing or posting new stuff on a daily basis. I just can't. I couldn't be arsed to do that. And I do like 50,000 things. There are so many projects that are still left for me. For example, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, you remember the shoe I had painted earlier? So I kind of removed that whole thing and I am redoing it now. So I've done one shoe. The next one is still left. I've even kept the pens in that so that I don't forget and mix up the colors. So I don't want to sit and just complete this and be like, oh, I'll have something to post on Instagram. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I enjoy doing it. And then I have a platform like Instagram where I can post about it. So don't look at it like, oh God, ये करना पड़ेगा अभी. सब कर रहे हैं. Musicians भी अपने गाने डाल रहे हैं तो हमें भी डालना पड़ेगा. Just relax. And as always, people are assholes online, okay? So even in this time of uncertainty where we need to be kinder to each other, you will have people who will post weird shit in the comments. For example, I posted a portrait today and someone on, I think on Facebook, I don't know, they posted a comment saying, oh, I really like this portrait, but you took the editing to an extreme. Of course, I blocked them immediately because I don't have time for that shit. But it's a self-portrait that I have shot for myself. I have posted it on my feed. It was not a client brief. The client did not tell me how to edit it. I have done something to my own picture and I can do whatever the fuck I want. And the caption clearly mentions that it is edited in Lightroom and Photoshop. And I have even posted a video in my story showing you a before and after. So like, please think 10 times before you post something in the comments. I'm saying this, I know most people won't because they need to vent somewhere and this is how they vent, which is fine, but I block you. So it's just take it easy, like relax, chill, do not look at what others are doing and be like, oh my God, I also need to do this. No, you don't. It's like the day the lockdown was announced, I was walking in my society and we have a couple of grocery stores and a medical store, and suddenly I saw people like running downstairs, like wearing masks, and people getting in cars and like quickly driving away and things like that. And then there was a long queue at the grocery store and I was like, what just happened? And I knew what had been announced in the speech. I knew it was a 21-day lockdown and I was like, cool, we'll get through it. But when I saw all these people standing in the queue and I was like, Naina, should you be taking this a little more seriously? Should you be like going and standing in queue? Should I ask Bharat to get me cash? Like, should I buy more stuff? This is a natural human tendency. When we see others panicking, we also panic. It is probably survival mode for us. But please, you are a human being. You have a brain. Please stop and think. Do you really need to hoard, panic, etc.? Similarly, do you really need to post something on a daily basis when you are in isolation? No, you don't. Read, do some push-ups, go for a walk if you have a location like this which is gated. God, thank God, I would have gone mad otherwise. And just be nice to each other as much as you can. If you feel that you have even an iota of a doubt before posting a comment online, don't post it. That's my advice. And don't feel pressured that there are some people who are posting like amazing looking stuff on a daily basis. Everyone has their journeys. Your journey is different from mine. There are people that I also look at and I'm like, damn, yeah. Like there's a photographer I follow and she lives in Provence now, which is in France, which is one of the places I would love to live in. And there's a part of me that's like, bitch, I wish I was in Provence and I would produce better images. But I'm not in Provence. I am in Gurgaon. What can I do in Gurgaon? And so I shall go ahead and do that. So it's just a perspective. There's no need to go overboard. Also, this is all work that you're doing on your own. Nobody's paying people like us, like freelancers, to actually do this work, which is unfortunate. A lot of governments across the world have announced, safety packages or extra payments to people who have lost their jobs, people who have social security, different countries. India mein aisa kuch nahi hai. We have no social security. Someone like me who I'm a freelancer. I depend on clients to give me photography work, and there is no photography work because I can't travel right now. There are travel restrictions and I won't be allowed to travel anywhere anyway, because even if I was probably affiliated with a news agency or a newspaper and I had one of their IDs, then I could probably even go outside and cover ki, oh my God, look at this city is looking so empty, and I really wanted to do that, but I can't do that. So there are things that you can do and there are things that you can't, and then there are things that you probably shouldn't do. Don't push yourself so much that it makes you anxious, which is just the opposite of what you should be feeling right now. And again, for people who want to post, like, just post, yaar, karo. don't listen to people saying ki, somebody was yesterday. I was doing an Instagram live and they said it's not about that person, but I'm sure there are people who think like this. They were like, as an influencer, this is a very good thing that you're doing. You need to do more Instagram live so that you can bring your community together. It is your responsibility. No, fuck you. It is not my responsibility. I don't even have a community. People who follow me on Instagram, that is not a community. It is just handles on Instagram following other handles on Instagram. Like, I have a few people who might feel like they are part of a community where people I connect with, people I have actually met in real life, people I can pick up the phone and talk to. Instagram followers are not a fucking community, and I'm definitely not responsible for their mental well-being. The reason I share stuff online is because I share stuff online. If someone looks at that stuff and there is something in that helps them or they gain inspiration from, that's on them. I'm not responsible for that. I'm not going to take credit कि अरे मैंने ये वीडियो बनाया था, उसने ये वीडियो देख के ये किया. वो उसने ही किया है. You choose what you want to be inspired by. So no, I am not an influencer. I'm a photographer. For fuck's sake. I also have a blog that I've been blogging on for 16 years and I also paint now. I am not a fucking influencer. I am a photographer. There is this thing that's happening. People, usually this whole cancel culture thing has become even more crazy in the times of COVID-19, which I find is ridiculous. I think people should have turned more, nicer to each other, kinder to each other. But pata nahi, theek hai, I guess kar rahe hain. So again, my rules are the same. I try not to respond to shitty comments. I block people. Like, I block. I just block. I don't go and check out their profile and see if they're following me or not. I don't go and see anything. I see a nasty comment and I block. It really is simple. The reason why I am online is because I want to share what I do, whether it is in the form of documenting boring daily life or documenting work and how I have progressed through the years. I am not there to wait for people to tell me, oh, this is amazing. Somebody commenting this is amazing means nothing to me, no offense. That's not what pays my bills. That's not what gets me more work. Followers is just, I still don't understand this whole obsession with follower numbers. It's a nice to have, but it doesn't define me. It shouldn't define you either. मतलब कर क्या रहे हो on ground? So in terms of social media, that should be the last thing that should provide any form of pressure to make you more anxious. Be inspired, do create things, do photograph whatever you have created. You don't necessarily need to publish it online. Don't publish it online. If you think it'll make you more anxious looking at comments, especially if you know you have asshole followers. I don't have a lot of them. Sometimes कहीं ना कहीं से कोई एक निकल के आ जाता है. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Naina Redhu Experience. And if there's something you want me to talk about, as always, you can leave a comment on YouTube. I do sometimes look at the comments because I don't really get a lot of shitty comments. And if I do get shitty comments, I block. And stay safe, stay home, and you'll hear from me soon. Bye.